How's she going, my son? And sorry, it's about the best way to start this video because, as much of a gag as it is, that I'm a Canadian and I apologize. It's reflex of nature. I do have to apologize for this vaguely monthish lull in my activity. Uh, I'm not going to go into specifics because guys don't need to know specifics. Just know that real life stuff happened, and I had to sort that out first before dealing with my YouTube air quotes career because I'm not actually making money off of this yet, and I have to maintain my other responsibilities and just myself. Really, that was the big part of it. Um, before I before I can deal with what is at the moment a hobby, which is my YouTube channel. Particularly because it's a YouTube channel where I do nothing but play video games. Something that one normally does in one's off time. Uh, Long and short of it, what I will tell you is there was a medication change or a change in dosage or what have you. So, that takes a bit of time to adjust to. And, I wanted to be in my best spirits for this because, you don't want to, if I had some kind of violent swing in the middle of a video, I'd have to scrap that video. Or worse, I put it up and you guys think something's gone horribly wrong with my brain, which obviously might be happening because of the medication in question. But everything's good. Everything is good now. Okay, everything's getting better. I don't want to be blowing smoke up your arses because that doesn't do any of us any good. Um, I'm not sure if I'll be ever getting quite back to the kind of upload schedule I had prior to this mess. At least for the foreseeable. I'm at a point where I kind of can't put a lot of pressure on myself, and I just kind of have to live my day to day for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do videos when I can, and I'll try to keep up with some kind of schedule, but I'm not going to try to do a daily video schedule yet again because it's a little too much pressure for me right now. It may not seem like much because I don't do a lot of editing and I really just play video games for a while, but it is something that weighs on my mind. And as someone with an anxiety disorder, that is something I have trouble dealing with or without medication. So I have to self-regulate. But in any event, I will be returning to YouTube. I will be returning to producing content. I will be finishing the several series I've done thus far. In particular, doing the other Undertale runs I've not finished yet. Finishing Rogue Legacy and the Dungeons of Dreadmore run I've done. Although for Rogue Legacy, I'm seriously considering restarting because the way the game scales, it seems better to forego leveling as much as possible until you get all the fat equipment and then level, or just don't level at all and just have all of your character power be based off equipment, which means the enemies aren't scaled up that much, but your equipment is, so it deals with them more handedly. Now, I know there's a point where you probably have to level up anyway, but like I was over leveled extremely, and it wasn't making enough of a difference to actually facilitate any sort of improvement. So I was going to be stuck in the same areas for countless episodes, and it wouldn't have been. I don't think it'd have been any fun for you guys to watch. I mean, unless you just enjoy my failure, which I mean, some people do. Schadenfreude and all that. But yeah, Rogue Legacy, I'm going to restart. I'm going to do an entirely new lineage, and we're going to play it a little differently. Play it a little more efficiently. Because that's something I find I do a lot in video games, and that's something I kind of want to focus on in the channel, is that I like to play video games efficiently, but even if I'm not, like, obeying the meta like the Bible, like I don't, I might accidentally be doing it with Rogue Legacy, I don't know. I haven't looked up anything on Rogue Legacy, really, other than unlocking one of the classes on my own time, which was the Dragon, because, I kind of wanted a character that had permanent flight, just for shits and giggles. But honestly, I probably wouldn't consider unlocking that character again until New Game Plus or something, because getting to that point is a lot of investment, and that makes the enemies really high level, and that thus in turn makes the bosses really high level, and makes it very hard to actually progress. And makes your equipment almost useless because it becomes such a smaller fraction of your stats. So yeah, probably going to restart Rogue Legacy. Going to finish the Dreadmore run though, because that's just perfectly fine where it is, and I'm going to finish that. Going to cover some more um, Undertale Binding of Isaac Afterbirth mod, or other way around, Afterbirth mod Undertale. Um, you know what I mean. The thing where I play Binding of Isaac, but it's Undertale themed and stuff is all different and messed up, so it's kind of like I'm playing the game for the first time again. Um, So I get to do that. Um, so let's see. Finish the Undertale runs. Probably playing with some more Slime Rancher because more Slime Rancher stuff has come out. I got to rebuild my ranch too because I deleted my saves because I mean they were the old version anyway. So I'm probably gonna rebuild the ranch off camera and then do some and then show you guys fun experiment stuff because I mean you don't need to see me doing the same steps to get to the fat loot again. You've seen it before. Um, Although I might show off doing it with different starting slimes. Like the standard strategy until the rad slimes came out was honey booms because honey booms make mad money. Now that they've kind of rebalanced how quickly the market can get saturated and the value of an individual plort can get tanked very quickly, having a diversity of your slimes is good. But the rad slimes start very high, so before you tank them, you can very easily, exploit their radioactive goodness until they're not worth anything, and then switch to another type, or just let them give them the day off pretty much, and sell the other ones, or store the rad slimes en masse, sell them when the market is good, that sort of thing. Um, I have entered the Gungeon now. I don't know if I want to do that as an episodic thing on the channel though, because Enter the Gungeon episodes are really long. Because that game takes at least an hour to do a run, if not more, depending on how many little min-maxy things you do to increase the efficiency of your run. So, and even though I'm not at the point where I'm getting to the bottom floors, once I get to the bottom floors, and you start doing runs where the only thing that kills you is the very final boss, or if you just completely finish the game, and you do a successful run where you don't die, that takes like an hour plus of content. So I might keep Enter the Gungeon for streaming because that is something I do want to do in the future. I don't know what kind of schedule I would have for streaming. I have to kind of realign myself, realign my sleep schedule. Although I have to admit, I'm not too bad at that lately. I've been trying to keep it on the level. But yeah, I would have to keep my sleep schedule together. But I'm in Newfoundland, so I'm an hour and a half ahead of Eastern Standard Time. So if you're on the West Coast, unfortunately, you might be shit out of luck, or I'm going to have to stream at like really early in the morning. But then the East Coast people are out of luck. So I can't appease everybody with a particular stream time, and I have to do it for myself. What stream time I enjoy, particularly again because I'm not. This is a hobby. I'm not getting paid for this yet. Hashtag wishful thinking. But I'd love to. I'd love to stream, and I'd love to do that for. I'd love to do that for the just for the sheer entertainment value, and and a game like Gungeon is better on a stream because you're actively shooting the breeze with people, and they can watch it happen in real time instead of taking an hour out of their own specific time just to watch it by themselves, and maybe the run doesn't finish properly, maybe the game crashes, I don't know, maybe I die on like floor 3. I almost said loop 3. Die on floor 3, and the run isn't as entertaining to watch. But when it's with a whole bunch of people, you kind of get the camaraderie thing going on. You get the group reactions to stuff. You get group advice from people in the chat. I get to talk to them live and do that. You know what streaming and Twitch are like. I'm sure you've all watched some streams at some point. Like some games are better for it than others. So I think Gungeon would be one of my first streaming games. Might play Nuclear Throne as well because again, that's a much quicker game for a single run. It's not as good for videos, I don't find. Barring people like Northern Lion and Sleep Cycles who have, got like, well, Sleep Cycles has like 500 plus videos on the subject. So what do I know? Let's put it this way. I don't think it would be a very good thing for me to do personally as a run because, well, one thing, I'm not the best at the game, and I kind of want to show off good play. And I don't know. It always feels to me like when you get to the end of a Nuclear Throne run, you die for a stupid reason. Or you get scummed out of the game. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll end up in a stream or two. What else? What else do I need to cover? Not a whole lot, to be completely honest. I mean, there's gonna be other games on the channel, but like again, I'm not a rich man, and I'm not making money off this, so my availability for getting new games is a lot lower than I'd like to be. Just for the purposes of the channel, anyway. I'm kind of perfectly fine playing games for myself at the particular rate that I am now, because I'm an RPG guy. It takes a while to beat an RPG. Like, for example, I played Bravely Default recently. Little late to the party, but better late than never. And that game, after doing everything in it, barring the final dungeon or super final dungeon, but like I couldn't find the final boss in it, the super final boss in it for some reason. He just wasn't there. Like, okay, I must have done something wrong. But I've thought that I beat the game, maxed out all the characters, yada yada yada. 80 plus hours. So that's not the kind of thing I don't need. And I wasn't playing it like 24/7 either. I was playing it like a couple hour stints at a time. Maybe if the plot got to a certain point where I got on a groove, I got like an 8-hour day out of it, because I was like, oh man, I want to see what's going on, or oh man, this boss is kicking my arse, so I need to grind, or that logic. But I mean, there would be times where I'd just be in the car for an hour and play for an hour, because it's a portable game, it's a 3DS game, so that would happen. And like I wouldn't need like 3 other JRPGs taking up my time, or even Western RPGs. God, those are even longer than JRPGs because they don't have a set storyline. And if they're from Bethesda, they're designed to just never stop playing, which is kind of annoying. Actually, now that I mention that though, I do actually want to do some more structured videos in the future. I would like to sort of semi-editorial, semi-opinionated pieces. Devil's advocating some features in gaming that people actually don't like, but are actually better for gaming than you would think. Like, for an example, to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, one of the first videos I want to do is the idea that in a free-to-play game, a freemium currency alongside a game currency is not a bad thing. I won't go into super specifics here because obviously that's the content of that video I'm talking about. But using Warframe as an example, I like the idea of the platinum, the money that's real money, and the credits, which is just the money you get from shooting dudes in the head and looting their pockets, being 2 different things with 2 distinct different functions, because lets you. Well, again, I don't want to spoil the video, but the idea being that they have separate functions is actually a good thing. Now, obviously, with these Devil's Advocate type videos, which kind of might be what I dub them, I'm also going to point out how this concept can be done horribly, horribly wrong. Because, as anyone who's played a free-to-play game can tell you, there are times when the free-to-play currency can be done very, very wrong. And the base game currency ends up being completely useless. And it's given to you as constantly rewarding, constantly being a air quotes reward for what you're doing, playing in the game, but you don't use it for anything relevant. It makes no sense. So, yeah, that would be the kind of thing I would talk about in these more structured videos. And, because I have a couple opinions that are like that. Because I've always been told I am a devil's advocate. I am the person who will take both sides of an argument, regardless of who's involved in it, even my loved ones and such. Because I try not to be anyway, a person that is swayed by a bias. I try not to be. I mean, obviously human beings are flawed and biased in many ways, and I can't overcome that unless I somehow become not human. Some sort of unbiased, ethereal, logic energy being. I can't do that yet. So, I have to account for that. But, I try to not let it guide me in the other extreme either, where I'm literally running around by the seat of my pants, and it's deleting me instead of my brain. So, this is sort of, these more structured videos would be sort of about that. But I mean, I would continue doing Let's Plays, and I would continue doing less structured stuff, and particularly from the streams and such. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell for a little while. Don't expect, I do want to say I'm going to be back in full force, but like I mentioned earlier, I don't think I will be, because I'm not quite capable yet of cranking out full-time videos and such. I do hope to at least have 1 more video this week, if not 2. At least 2 I would like to have. No confirmed, no confirmation, no promises, because I can't put pressure on myself right now, but it's an ideal. Let's put it that way. It's an ideal. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed being informed, and the random footage I'm going to splice together in Movie Maker of some of my previous games that I played in the channel and some highlights of some cool events that have occurred in them. Just to give you something to look at while you're listening to me. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you look forward to me in the future, and I look forward to providing for you guys in the future. But anyway, until then, thank you so much for watching, and ciao for now.